तोरी फुर्सत भी मेरी जान कभी बाहों को दीजिए तोरी फुर्सत भी मेरी जान कभी बाहों को दीजिए आज की रात मजा हो सका आँखों से लीजिए आज की रात मजा हो सका आँखों से लीजिए वक्त बर्बाद न बिन बात की बातों में कीजिए वक्त बर्बाद न बिन बात की बातों में कीजिए आज की रात मजा हो सका आँखों से लीजिए आज की रात मजा हो सका आँखों से लीजिए
Mr. Singh, you gotta mute your phone.
Yeah, yeah.
तबाही पक्की है और तुम्हें पानी जान की कुर्बानी ले लेते बढ़ जानी तबाही पक्की है और तुम्हें पानी मेरे महबूब समझिए जरा मौके की नज़ाकत मेरे महबूब समझिए जरा मौके की नज़ाकत के करे दी नहीं जा सकती हसीनों की इजाज़त नाज़ इतना मेरे जान नाज़ इतना भी नहीं खो के लिए वादों पे कीजिए आज की रात मजा हो सका आँखों से लीजिए आज की रात मजा हो सका आँखों से लीजिए तोरी फुर्सत भी मेरी जान कभी बाहों को दीजिए तोरी फुर्सत भी मेरी जान कभी बाहों को दीजिए आज की रात मजा हो सका आँखों
Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk with the Phantom, and I have here with me Mr. Suman Singh, and the rest of our friends will join us soon.
से लीजिए आज की रात मजा हो सका आँखों से लीजिए
So, Mr. Singh,
Tell me, man.
yeah. See how our Prime Minister met with Exxon, and seen the comments of Exxon stating, how easy the transition was. It's the easiest transition they ever had, dealing with Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm very proud to see that we're making some drastic progress in the energy sector, and businesses are gravitating towards Trinidad and Tobago. So everything is looking pretty much hopeful. I mean, we got a lot going on. So I'd like to hear from you. If you look at the picture, you see our Prime Minister and various ministers sitting with the Exxon officials. So I'd like to hear your response on that.
Well, Gary, good night to all our listeners and the worldwide audience. Definitely. This is a nice picture. It shows what's been happening and the championing Dr. Munilala has been making in this regard. Now, this was like a team effort. It was not only energy they spoke about, it was also about the steel mill and other ancillary services that soon to be happening, And while all this is good news for TNT, regardless of whichever side you are patriot to, whether you PNM, UNC, or otherwise, this is definitely a good call. I should say an outstanding call, because once these things or these activities from the companies return back to Trinidad, we can see some pressures being released in the economy, meaning, we might be, getting a little bit more foreign exchange. So no longer have to line up with a ticket to get $200 for the week, but you might be able to get a lot more. So that's a positive sign, and that will definitely spur small business development and so on along the way. Once people have access to Forex, they can import whatever they have to import and do their businesses and so on, especially small businesses.
But I love the comment of Dr. Williamson. Williamson, in that he's speaking about the ease of doing business, right? And how nothing was the fastest that Exxon ever saw. Has been able to secure necessary approvals.
All the approvals. Yes.
Because I remember the difficulty of getting approvals from Trinidad and Tobago, no matter what kind of business you're doing. I remember when Shah Rukh Khan came to Trinidad, how difficulty they had getting privilege to the aircraft and stuff like that. But go ahead, Mr.
You're quite right. But remember, we are a long way off. Still, this was fast track. These approvals were fast tracked by the Ministry of Energy. This is not the national, I should say, the overall fast tracking of all business approvals. No. It's only for the oil industry. And I wish the other sectors in the economy can benefit or be the beneficiary of these fast track approvals, because it will definitely spur a lot more economic activity. And once that happens, the multiplier effect of the dollar, a lot more people getting employment, a lot more spending power in the economy and so on, can uplift the economy as far as purchasing power and all these things go. Lifestyle benefits, people can afford to go and have access to more foreign exchange and business activity. So it's all in all, it augurs well. That's the bottom line. It augurs well. But Gary, I've been hearing some naysayers about it all. And
it's obviously you're going to have the naysayers, and they're going to downplay and criticize and pull down as much as they can, because number one, they are self-serving, self-righteous people that are interested in themselves.
Yeah.
Now we have a prime minister seeking the people's interests, so obviously they're going to object. They're going to object about the police post. They're going to object about the extra protection for the people. I mean, you name it, everything that's good for the people. They want these people struggling and desperate, so they're always depending on them. They don't want no independence.
Yeah, that seems to be the norm. That seems to be the norm. And this is for the benefit of all TNT. It's not for the benefit of UNC or this party and that party and this segment of the country. And it is for the benefit of all TNT. So I don't know why they should object. A couple of the university economists and so on.
Again, I wouldn't say why you should object. I mean, why would Satan object? Why would Satan attack you? You understand? The devil must do his job, evil must do their job, and we must do ours. So I as a soldier, I am not bothered by the attacks of the enemy. I say fire right back.
Right back, you're right. And I share that opinion as well. You don't have to respond to them, no. You don't have to respond to them. You do what you have to do. You and the power. And according to the one of the PNM ministers from Tobago, they say, "We in charge now. You deal with it."
Man, I say hit them for 6
I,
every time.
yeah.
Every
Well,
time, hit them for 6 every time.
Yeah, well, like the CPL, it started now, so there are a lot of sixes around. Yeah, but in all seriousness, I think this is a great move because, Gary, I don't know if you know the spin-off from the oil and energy drilling, let's say drilling and exploration and so on. It creates a lot of ancillary services. Small contractors, 8 and 10 and 5 people and so on, get a lot of subcontracts, and this is the nice thing. It creates a value chain. And once that, is activated, you see a lot more people, in a happy mood, spending mood, and so on. So this is good for the national economy, and I'm
Well,
saying
look
national
at it.
economy.
Look at it. Look at what's happening. We have business in several categories coming towards us: the AI, the technology, the energy industry, and we're gonna see some increase in. We're gonna see an explosion of tourism by the time we get done. All right. So and this is going to be a multi sectoral type of economic explosion. Go ahead.
Yeah, the point I'm making is going to be the benefit of TNT and not for one party. That's the whole point about it. And those who cannot see it like that, and these economists and so on from you think that eat a food economist.
Well,
what?
they are intoxicated on Balize juice. So
Yeah.
I don't even bother two wits about them. But what we have to do, what we have to do, and we have to keep on educating the people, and they will see the benefits of it.
Yes, for 10 years, the whole economy was in a downward spiral, right? Now that it's reaching a point of equilibrium and starting to go up, they have a problem with that. And the amounts were all shut during the past 10 years.
Yeah.
That's
I just
why
want to
I-
welcome Marilyn, Anna Kangal, Nadira, and all who's listening. Go ahead, Mr. Singh.
Welcome to you all. Yeah. All of a sudden, they found their voices. Why they don't think it will work and this and that and so on. Well, for the past 10 years, it wasn't working in any case. You shut it down. A lot of plants were shut down. A lot of people are thrown on the breadline. And they want to know how you're going to create jobs and this and that. You don't have to respond to
Well,
these people.
look what they did. They gave themselves the biggest raise on the exit. They fed themselves fat and tell the people to tighten their belt, right? And yet, we had people running to them, running to the oppressor, bowing down to the oppressor, embracing the oppressor.
Yes. So, in summation, I think this is energy. This perhaps is the best news TNT have heard maybe in the past 12 or 15 years. So we should all be proud of whoever has done this thing. But Trinidad being what it is, kudos will be stifled and will find all the excuses why this will not work, it will not happen. And the voices, I hope the voices are few and far between, because the offshoots of these economic activity will definitely create much more jobs, much high-end jobs, much better paying jobs. And even for the local layman, they will create a lot more service jobs because, as I said before, it's a value chain of services that the oil industry creates. A lot of small businesses get little subcontracts and so on. So, in my opinion, it all augurs well. And not only in Point Lisas, but in the south areas like Point Fortin and Guayari and the various southeastern points of the island as well. Not to mention a couple areas in the east, the deep sea area where ExxonMobil is going to explore. So I think it's an excellent move, and we look forward for a lot of benefits coming out of these activities. Yeah.
Mr. Singh, I am hoping that the level of success that this administration under Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bizesa will execute upon Trinidad, that those naysayers and critics will swallow their tongue when she gets done with the way she'll deliver the level of services to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, I hope so too. I mean, I keep on reiterating, this is not a UN sitting. This is for the benefit of all of us. We all will be happier when we could go to the bank and get more foreign exchange to travel. All of us. It doesn't matter who you are. Rather than one segment of the population getting most of it like before. You know? So it is a positive sign, a really good move. And I applaud the current regime for doing that, for doing this good for the benefit of all the people here. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we got into this fight to upgrade the level of services for the country. We want the best level of service towards ourselves and our people. I mean, we all together Trinidadians got tired of the nonsense and decided to come together and put an end to it. And people of all races and all creed and all religion, all ages came together. I mean, I'm really proud that the young people turn out, in trying to,
Yeah.
to make a difference in the country. You saw they demonstrated that they were serious, and they're very serious. I mean, I looked at the number of people when they called for recruits, showed up to apply for the police. I mean, that's serious commitment, man.
And as I say, it augurs well. It augurs well. And that, in my opinion, is a whole new thinking, It's not like vote as what your parents did, but it shows independent thinking of the youths. And that was a positive sign. Yeah. So, I mean, Exxon is not a small player. That's a serious. They're in serious business. I mean, in Guyana, in Suriname, worldwide, Gulf of Mexico, and Venezuela, and what have you. So they have their wings spread out, Exxon, and should they really go more into exploration of the deep area drilling and so on, and should it turn out to be positive, then we can really look forward to much better days in TNT, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah, man, definitely, we are looking for much better days. In TNT.
The question about the steel mill as well, the resuscitation of the steel mill, the proposed expenditure, I think it was a 750 million US dollars in the first instance. And I hear Stuart Young and say, well, they appreciate that the steel mill coming back, but he ain't saying who closed it down now. They ain't saying about these things, who closed down the steel mill and why it was closed and why it was never reopened. They're not talking about that. Their concern is that where is the 750 million coming from? That is their argument, So
we should ask them where the money went. Not
where the money went and why it was closed down. Who benefited by the mill being closed down? Some people benefit, but most people lost. The workers went through hell, So all these things this resuscitation, it bodes well. It definitely bodes well. But more so, as I kept on saying, is a lot of more ancillary industries, small and medium businesses will be finally getting a foot and being part of this value chain to support the oil exploration and drilling activities. Yeah. So good move, and all kudos to the existing team.
No, I see some things are gravitating towards Tobago since you're in Tobago over there. You have some kind of a race coming up?
Oh yeah. I was down right swimming next to this thing here, man, today. You know, I don't know if you know, I'm a long distance swimmer. And I swam out to this thing that is quite a spectacle. You know, it's like a house resting on a badge, a steel badge. There are about 4 rooms I see, air condition and this and that, and a big, like a reception area to the front.
Which means that people are showing interest in coming to Trinidad and
yeah,
Tobago.
the place is packed. My brother was here, and I took him for a swim down at Store Bay, and I was out in the deep part. So, yeah, it's nice. A lot of people, it's great race weekend. I don't know if you know, I have never missed 14 great races. Always been here in Tobago whenever I can. So this is my 15th year of attending this.
Welcome, Dr. Marge. Welcome, Dr. Marge. So,
I only hope, Gary, that they can broaden it out to a more international audience, you know, especially like guys from Miami, because in Miami has a lot of power boat racing and so on. So I guess it will go up there, southeastern US, and make the competition a little more international. It might be augur well for the tourism sector. So,
Dr. Marge in the house.
Now, what's up, everybody? How you all going? I hear someone talking about a floating house in Port of Spain somewhere.
No, it's in Storby here. I was swimming around.
Tobago.
He's swimming around a floating house?
Yeah, man. I'm a long distance swimmer, Doc.
Oh, you're everything, man.
Yeah, I'm a long distance swimmer, man.
If ever Trinidad needed you, is now.
Yeah, because we have a project, or we want to do a project, is called a marina project.
Uh-huh.
And I suggested that way back in 2005.
Mr. Singh, where did this boat? I didn't get a chance to see where it came from. Where did it arrive from?
It came from Trinidad. I think somebody told me Diego Martin or Carenage. But it's very new. If what it's resting on is like a big flat badge, and that seems pretty new as well. But the structure itself is very new. There are no rust spots, you know. Things in the sea are affected by marine influences, little rusting here, and especially like air conditioners and whatever. Everything seems brand new. So
why not?
Is it pulled by the tug, or it has its controls?
No, it has its own. It powers itself by its own engine, and the whole roof and so on is all solar.
Oh, okay, nice. Go ahead, Dr. Marge.
So I was just thinking, then, if this is the case, then this is police post number 31. But this one is Marine police post number 31.
Yeah.
It's floating in the sea from looking for the ground. Ask Trump if you know about this kind of thing, man. We have our own floating vessel.
Well, Doc, in Miami has a lot of these, you know.
Yeah?
Miami has a lot of these things. A lot, meaning you go down to Key West and
yeah, but them for fun. We want ours to catch the thieves on them. But that's what we want ours for.
We want ours to be like a command and control
That's
center.
right, a center in the ocean, in the sea.
The ocean, and this will be feeding the blimp up there, and the drones and so on.
So your Tonapuna man wouldn't object. I wonder if you still object, boy. If you Tonapuna
they will find, they'll see, oh, it's in a marine sensitive area. You can't.
You're killing the fish.
Yes.
You're destroying the fish in the neighborhood. They'll find something for sure.
Correct.
These guys are really sick people. A lot of sick people in Trinidad, boy. I mean, and they're called from the old school of the PNM, eh?
Yep.
These are the old school PNM. You know what the model of, you know what the PNM economic model is? Find more oil, sell the oil, get foreign exchange, and help the voters. Run the bread. Run the bread among the voters and the financiers. And that is their model.
You mean run the crumbs because they ain't give the real bread.
Yeah, no, well, they're running for the financiers, get the big portion, and the little people are happy with the crumbs, and that is why they keep them putting in year after year. That is the simple model. That's the economic model of the PNM. It's so simple.
Yeah, let me tell you straight. They have the 1% hiring a lot of their supporters. You know, the KFC job, the Royal Car, all these little menial jobs and so on.
Yeah.
But they're after. Because you know you get 2% or 3% of the crumbs. But they're happy with that.
Yeah.
And they cream off the rest with their finances and so on. Look and see what this committee looking after the pharmaceuticals and see the crap that went on. You know, contracts were signed. The permanent secretary don't know who signed it. What BS you're talking about? All the accounting work has to go through your hands. So you have to know. As if you don't know, you cannot approve it. You know? So this is the nonsense that went on. Because that is why the former minister is trying to break from appearing before the committee. Yeah, but thank God we have a good legal system still in place. We have to cherish that, boy.
Yeah. So the other night when we left, I was telling you all something that I don't know if you recall, you should recall, because I was making a point about the quality of the candidates that the UNC had to attract in the UNC, and I called some of the names, and because called maybe all of them even, but we called some names. And while I was finishing up, I think I told you all that something is going to happen pretty shortly. Like I had in mind, like maybe like the oil might have something on the horizon. Although the steel was not really in my mind as such, but it could have been that also. But I was saying that something has to happen. This is the second year that the fellas are doing their great work, and it's time now for some kind of launch, some kind of move to be not only move to be recognized by those people who are supporting the old regime, like the financiers of the PNM, who are still in control in many ways. Mm-hmm. So I was making that point on the last day, and then I think it was the next or 2 days after, the Prime Minister came with these big announcements about the federal government of investors from the United States are really coming into the steel, because there's something special about Trinidad steel that Americans are interested in. Yeah. If they get that going, and they have they could have the union, but please, those unions better tread cautiously. I mean, the trade unions have to realize that there's no stone. Money doesn't come from stone, and bread don't come from stone. It has to come out productivity that will take us. So because if we go back to those old days when the ArcelorMittal was here and the trade union wanted, I think, it's nice to give your workers, but you have to match it with productivity. You have to match it against productivity, or else you wouldn't get anywhere. I mean, you'll get somewhere, but they will pack up the things and go away. Yeah, so you want a fair deal. My thing is about it, I'm not favoring one or the next. A fair deal. The trade union must expect a fair deal, and the workers and the managers must expect a fair day's work or fair day's pay. And all of us must be happy in the end, that we make some money, all of us, and all of us feeling happy and keep on going. That's easy.
that steel mill was the second thing. First one is the oil and the oil exploration, Exxon Mobil and a couple of other exploration firms coming in. The second good news was the steel mill, and the third good news were also the 2 data centers that will happen hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So these 3 things were 3 big announcements. One is cutting edge technology. The second thing was production, more physical production of steel. And the third thing was exploration. So I think it's not all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. It's a very diversified portfolio of 3 major project or development projects happening or soon to be happening. So I see that is a good positive sign so far. It means that you have to remember these things don't happen overnight. It's months of negotiation.
Yeah.
So that's a nice sign. I think what will be the icing on the cake, if it can happen this year or later this year, will be some more word on the refinery, and that will be the icing. That will be a Christmas present for the nation, man.
Well, one of the things about your refinery is that this problem that is happening in the Middle East, they look into countries like Venezuela and Trinidad and Brazil, who have a little bit of oil as well, and of course Guyana, because we don't have any wars in these areas, and we kind of zone free for wars, except we have some little criminal activity, but that is not big. So the investors are looking for a safe place to invest their money and extract the oil and sell it in the world market. And this Trinidad and Guyana, of course, is well poised for that to happen. So if we get the steel thing running, and they might be encouraged to open a refinery back in Trinidad. That is the American enterprise system that is looking for investments everywhere. I mean, Trinidad, the oil that is produced in America, it has to be heavy oil.
Yes, it's what we call the sour crude.
Sour crude, and I think Pointe-à-Pierre had that capability. Am I right? Or tell me.
No,
but no, didn't have.
We more into the sweet crude.
Right, the sweet. Okay, that's what I was.
Which is a higher level, more refined oil, so to speak.
Yeah,
doesn't require too much refining. So the sweet crude is a nice crude, but we can make our refinery dual use now that a lot of Guyanese and Surinamese oil are also light crude, sweet crude. So we can also do some heavy crude as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it is for. We can be the refining capital in the Caribbean, man.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any refinery in the Caribbean except in Trinidad, and I don't know if there's any in Puerto Rico. I don't think so.
No, there are one in Puerto Rico, one in the USVI.
Yeah.
There's a HESS, HESS.
Yeah, I know America. I know them good.
Right.
Yeah.
So they are up in the island. I think in USVI.
Okay. Yeah, I thought Trinidad was a uniquely placed to.
A relative of mine is the engineer with them there, and it's a highly technical plant. It's just run by about 110 people. The entire refinery. Yeah, it's a big refinery as well. So.
If I may also say something, let me say 2 things. One, what Gary had mentioned just now about the crumbs off the table for those people. I'll tell you one thing. Our criticism of that is not going anywhere. These people like it so. The most we can do, most of their own people, their own voters can do, is to tell them, hey, you're a fool, you're so foolish. Go with you and see you'll get a better deal. Don't worry with this PNM. The PNM giving that. So the deal will be better off with the PNM, with the UNC deal and the PNM deal.
That was done by a lot of the guys during leading up to this election. In fact, before leading up to that, there was a lot of groundwork put out with guys like heavy duty, what do they call the pit bull, and you know Andy and
Heavy,
them,
yeah, heavy
and
and
them.
yeah. They were very influential. Heavy and T and M, Mr. T and M. Yeah, Andy
Yeah,
Williams, Andy
yeah,
Williams, Leonard Smith, and all these
yeah.
guys.
Them guys put on some
Yeoman
work
work,
over the years, man. So a lot of work,
yeoman work, my friend, yeoman work.
and
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they
so
have
they,
shaped this new thinking.
yeah,
And
and you know, I
curious,
mean, you know, so they a lot of credit belongs to them, you know.
yeah, definitely. I say that from way back when, because I used to speak to them often when I was in Miami and so on evenings. And these guys
Right.
did a,
And I think that's the guys from what do you call them? What station are they from again?
I think 95.5, I'm not
They,
too
they still
sure.
do the ground report. That was the ground report with
Ground
Andy, with
Yeah,
report.
Andy,
I
the
hear that.
people.
I hear some time back. Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah,
station that was, but
you know, for many years, them did some
yeah,
serious work.
yeah.
And there was Heavy and Ghost, and then the Heavy and this guy was it T? Forget the name. How you call it again?
But I call him Mr. T.
Yeah. Forget. I can't remember
But
what T
Yeah, but
is.
it wasn't one of them were the MC for Kamala them during the election. Wasn't one of them
correct.
the MC?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Well,
one of them was shot,
Oh
physically
yeah.
shot, gunshot. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And he recovered. He was okay, but they
Oh
got you.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but them
So
guys good. Them guys good. That is those are the kind of opportunity I tell you about.
that
Those are
is
my kind of people. I
yes,
met a lot of them in Arima. Those are my kind of people.
that is
I,
they.
because they tell you like it is. We want the truth. We don't want to fool anybody or to lie or to tell or all of us. The country belongs to all of us, and all of us will have to share in the risk and the responsibility. Oh, it must not be one getting more like last week I told you all. Some more equal than others. We all equal, but some more equal than others.
Oh
Like
yeah.
yeah,
the PM
and
constituent.
this kind of race government they want to talk about is the Indian government, the African government,
No, man,
Trinidad and Tobago.
that is what they're hoping to trade again on.
But that is the agenda, and that's
Right,
what they ran by for many
right.
years.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
the thing
the
about it
so
is,
cheap.
under the UNC,
Yeah.
even though they would want to create some kind of stigmatism,
Mm.
UNC never operated like that. A lot of these racial things that they say UNC did was fictitious. They created that,
Mhm.
but
you know.
you remember they have always used that race card as a string,
From
Kagari,
the
and
time
it
I know
has worked
Basti
for them.
Pandey, from the time I know Kamala Prasad, they say, sir, then there was never anything about race among them
Yeah,
in private or in public. You
yeah.
understand?
But
If Mrs. Bisesa says something and she lash back because she got tired of the nonsense from somebody, but she have a right to lash back. You know, but other than that, in the normal, how to say, operation of things, the thinking and agenda and everything else, there is that has nothing that can come close to the thinking of the UNC government, you know. So I mean, this is the right type of government for the multicultural, multi-religious, multiracial country that we have.
And
yeah,
that's what I'm telling you. That's what I told you the other day. Be
but
careful
remember
because
they
these
don't.
people don't. That is not their philosophy. Their
Ah,
philosophy is to divide and rule, pull the tribe to one side, and hopefully get a sprinkler, some kind of other sprinkling somewhere, and they want to hold on power like that all the time. But they don't like this rainbow coalition, like I told you all about the last time we met. So
yeah,
we know where they're coming with. We know why they're doing all of that. We know, but the UNC people must not fall trap to that last week. I was telling you I was heavy on that last week. Again, I repeated the same thing. Don't fall to the PNM trap because they're cheap. They have nothing deep. Everything is very shallow. Look at the color of your skin, not the content of your character, and vote accordingly. These people have no shame. And I'm glad you all mentioned those boys and them who speaking about it, but you know, the other day or however long ago, the Oreo, we all must have heard about that Oreo talk. This is the pack of nonsense. Look how long Makandal Daga and them calling the PNM people Oreos. You know, they never take it down so serious. Suddenly, there's a become racial thing. You could
Welcome,
call
Dr.
any
Stephen Ramrup.
yeah. You
Hi
could
Gary,
call
hi Gary. Hi
yeah.
guys.
Hello. Yeah, welcome.
You could call anybody Oreo. It could be you could have chocolate Oreo, you have dark Oreo, Oreo. What does it really mean? It really means that you looking after the colonial people and don't care about your own people because you are white inside and different color on the outside. That is what you already know. Kamala didn't invent that. That was way back in the 1970s when Daga and them was really fighting the PNM down for the same biasness against their own people. And that is why you all mentioned Andy and all of them boys and them boys, not girls much, boys who attacked the PNM from ever since. And the Oreo thing is nothing new. They want to make because they cannot stand the fact that some honest Trinidadians are doing the correct thing, putting Trinidad before the party, which is the opposite to the PNM. Party first, country second, and everything else must be third. That is their philosophy, and we have to fight against that. One more thing I would say, and then I'll give you guys the talk. The economic model of the UNC. The other day I was telling you all, the economic model of the UNC is market oriented. That is why you see you ask if you have to take this country. It's not to the extent that they really totally market like I was asking for, but they're closer to what the market oriented that they have to be, because that's the only way those foreign investors will come here. They don't want to come to a market that is tilted against and is tilted against union in favor of unions and sector of society. They want a fair, open playing field, so they will do what they have to do, make their profit, satisfy the shareholders, and continue making profit, and also helping Trinidad along the way. Not because Trinidad is great, but it's because they have something to get out of this. So we all will benefit if we do the correct thing, and an honest day's work, honest day's pay. Investors get a certain return on their investment, and we all happy. We're not having any. And you had to deal with your crime, sir. Your crime is a problem. You have to deal with that, because while these American people will come here and they will do what they have to do and try for the profit and go, we still have a problem. Your society would not be a safe place, and investors will not be able to operate comfortably because your crime situation. And they like what you all are doing. The American investors like what you all are doing. They like the fact that you all are taking care of and following the American model of trying to deal with organized crime and gangs and all of that. And that the American would like that kind of thing, because everybody wants to invest in the Caribbean and in Trinidad and Tobago. They want to have a safe environment. No one wants to look at it. They already had taken a risk by taking a chance. They may or may not make profit out of these things. And the way the Middle East is going on these days, you're not even sure if you have how your investment will go even in Trinidad and Tobago. I was just saying that they don't have any much of middle wars and so on in our country in the Caribbean. They're kind of safe over there. So I'll pick this up again another time, because I really want to talk a little bit about the UNC model, economic model, which I'm gleaning from what they're saying now. It seems that again a clearer picture of where they want to go with all of this. So you guys can take over and listen for a while. Thank you.
Put your notes together and come back any night, Dr. Miraj. Put your notes together and come back. So welcome, Dr. Ramrup.
Hi. Good.
Yeah,
Good night.
Good night.
So, Dr. Ramrup, you had some information you wanted to bring to our attention, and
Which one?
I hope that
you
you up to it tonight, or you
which piece? Which one? Talk to me. Which piece of it?
One that you said you wanted to discuss when next we have a meeting. I'm not too sure what is it, but you had several things. I myself can't recall.
Yes.
Well, let's deal with the security issues of the disaster preparation, and then we could pick up on the other things.
Good. All right. Good. All right. Well, I think that I mean, the thing is that we have been looking at quite a lot of good things, I must say, that have been that our party has been doing over the past few months, preparing for like the flooding, the interventions with the police post. It would bring some mixed reactions, but it's something that we know that it is needed, and it's a positive step in terms of reducing crime. They have advantages. Disaster management. I see that MP Minister Khadija and Amin and Minister Barry Padarat and some of the other ministers have engaged in trying to mitigate some of the issues with flooding and some of the communities, and that's good. So, in terms of what's happening, I'm seeing some positive movements. The reason that we had suggested that when you begin these programs, they must be what I'm trying to say is that it must be part of a bigger plan or strategy, and it is obviously supposed to be aligned back to the manifesto or to the UNC's strategic plan that they had presented to the population prior to being elected in office. So from time to time, I know that they refer to the fact that they have been doing these things as they had promised. Promise made, promise kept, right? Which I think is promise made, promise kept. That was related to what they had written in the manifesto in each one of the different lines of service. Ministry, education, um, security, finance, and whatever. So again, I mean, aligning back to those to that strategy is something that they're saying it, promise made, promise kept. But I'm hoping that when they do their, I don't know what you want to call it, a mid-year review, or I mean, it's coming up to budget very soon. I think October will be budget again, right? So, in other words, then they're now going to have to be measuring what they had done and what is being done. So the discussion that I have really is a proposal and the presentation on a number of crime issues. One is we talked about using the University of the West Indies Davie campus to set up the forensics training center that was promised by the Honorable Prime Minister, and she did indicate that there are quite a lot of plans for that center so that we can begin to train persons. We suggested training a certain group of persons, right, so that they can actually have a better understanding of the management and the enforcement of law, as well as the evidence, uh, proper evidence gathering, etc. Right? A lot of the system that we recommended was a change of the system that we have, in a sense, where we have a lot of district medical officers, part of the old British system, where they are basically medical officers who work in the counties, and they are responsible for the working with the police to certify deaths at home, as well as to look at certain of the deaths that are on uncertain circumstances, such as homicides, suicides, and, and deaths that are unexplained. So again, the DMO system has not seen much training for DMOs in terms of contemporary evidence-based forensic science and medicine. And we suggested that the coroner system is good, but there could be a hybrid between the coroner and the medical examiner system, because quite a lot of evidence collection and crime scene investigations, crime scene planning, crime scene evidence gathering. All of these things are very weak in the courts and lead to a lot of persons walking free, and not being, literally locked up, in jail for their crimes, because the evidence gathering system is weak. So that is another one. I think I had mentioned that our 911 system of calls is again something that maybe they could look at as they go forward after this budget, in that they could try to see if they could put all the call centers that they currently have is a very weak system. It's not recommended by any communication system for emergencies around the world. Most countries have gone to a single number system because there are obvious benefits it far outweighs the negative the negative benefits of having a single use single number center. I don't even have to go through it because I mean it's basically common sense. And I am hoping that we had in 2015, the last year of the People's Partnership, when we lost the elections, we had actually gone to the Central Tenders Board with a tender for a company regionally or in Trinidad to tender for the management of a single call center and to combine at that point in time the 911 811 and 511 system 211 in Tobago, right? And that was something that once that tender was awarded, Trinidad and Tobago would have had a 911 or a 128 or whatever system, one number, right? And we have the necessary infrastructure already, so it would not be a problem. Okay? So, community policing is something that the police post could be the actual structure or the physical part of it, and we can use those police posts, as it were, to now begin to engage the community in a number of ways, which I think I outlined in a proposal, at least so that they could, probably pull out the manifesto, look at what they had planned for security as it pertains to community policing, and now that they have actually gone forward and actually now started with the police post, I think that this is an excellent way now to launch the community policing program, right? Which is a program that we have right in Canada, for example, in Jamaica, in Japan, and the results of these programs have actually been measured and they have been shown to be extremely beneficial, right, in reducing and mitigating all levels of crime within community and society. So again, these are contemporary evidence-based solutions, and I think that my sort of discussion, hopefully, would is my recommendation that that the honorable ministers and the technical persons, if they would allow us to share this information to the technical persons. We're not asking you to accept it. We're just asking them to pass it on to the technical advisors of each one of the ministries. And then we can, since these are based on current science, it's not something that I pulled out of my hat or I was thinking about. It's something that when you do the research and you do the analysis, you will find that these are the programs that are recommended and are being implemented in many of the countries with a similar population, similar culture, and they are bringing good results. So, evidence-based approach is what I am asking for, and hopefully, if the process, I did indicate that I would write to the Honorable Prime Minister for at least to allow the ministers to share the programs that we keep putting on this program and of course sharing. Just a couple days ago, I shared a FEMA course with Gary that it could be done by our Ministry of Local Government, since they have actually literally taken over disaster management in this country, and ODPM seems to be in a I don't know what you want to call where ODPM has gone, but basically, I think if the Ministry of Local Government is the ministry that is dealing with disasters, I think that persons should be allowed to subscribe to this FEMA course, because mass care and mass fatalities is what you have been seeing in Colombia and in Venezuela. But with respect to the earthquakes, where after 3-4 days people are being pulled out of the rubble, hundreds of persons who are missing and dead.
1 second, guys. We have
Yes.
Councillor Richard Sukde with us. And it's a good conversation, Councillor Sukde. Welcome, sir. Go ahead, Dr. Rambo.
Right. So what we are saying is that mass care and mass fatalities is a training that members of the disaster management units, the community groups that have been set up by the Honorable Minister of Local Government, and these groups should have at least certain persons be allowed to do this course. Right. I think ODPM has the link, and they have already had the technical cooperation with FEMA, right, via the U.S. Southcom and via the military liaison officer at the United States Embassy and the U.S. State Department. We have already had these liaisons, so that it is easy for us to get the course to some of the persons. So again, it's very important because we're looking at marine disasters. We have what happened in Guyana is something that we need to look at closely because we have, ferries that are leaving Trinidad and going to Tobago on a daily basis. We have had support, I think, from the Indian government with respect to some marine equipment as well as training. So I understand that we do have, the ability to access marine rescues and search and rescue type operations. So following what happened in Guyana, I suggested that we have an example here in Trinidad where we have very lax regulations when it comes to marine craft. And I referred to the young girl who died in Tobago.
Yeah.
With respect
Sure.
to those sort of regulations, when it comes to that beautiful young girl who left home so excited and so jubilant that she'll be going to the beach in Tobago, and she never came back home. So these are some of the things that the country has to remember. I also reminded persons about the young lady who drove in Woodland and didn't have a barricade by the river, and she was submerged in the water shouting for help. People were actually hearing her, and she died even with people within a few meters from her, unable to save her because qualified land search and rescue teams could not have been mobilized by by the fire services, which is located just about less than a mile away from that accident, just a mile away. And the fact that they had to call some search and rescue group, hunters group, right, rather than the fire services to deal with that is something that sends what we should say, it sends quivers down my spine with respect to where we are going. Then when we consider we have a young 38-year-old guy who apparently used some drugs, and he got a cardiac arrest at a FET, right? And there were no regulations concerning how these FETs are organized in terms of the moss pit, how the ambulance service gets in to pick up this guy. The little girl who died in Tobago, the ambulance service that came to take her to hospital was a basic emergency medical system. Even if she had a little slimmer or glimmer of hope and chance of saving or being saved, it was totally wiped out because the guys who were taking her to the ambulance, to the hospital, had no qualifications. They had no training in advanced life support so that they could have put up a drip and at least give her some oxygen and give her some sort of life support. We have seen a young doctor who died on the Beetham Highway again in a crash. Again, emergency responders who went to him, he was still breathing and he lost his blood coming out of his femur. He died because somebody could not have put up a drip and give fluid expanders to at least save his life. And all of these lives are being lost because we have a basic emergency system, right? So that little girl in Tobago, she might have had a chance. The young doctor might have had a chance. The young people who die at home or at FEDs might have had a chance if the system is sorted out. We also talked about the fact that we see some examples where the breaches are very, 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 very obvious. For example, when they had the carnival event in the Queen's Park Oval in the Queen's Park Savannah, right? We had pedestrians were walking where vehicles were moving. People with children were skipping through vehicles moving, right? We had the ambulance was posted in the venue, right, where it was not in a position that could have been mobilized in the event that there was an emergency. So, you know, there are a number of things that we are seeing that hopefully, at least, well, how much we have, about another year has gone. I am hoping that, you know, that somebody, if they pass it on to the technical teams at the ministry, which is what I had asked for in my last bit of correspondence, is that at least if they hear us and they give us a chance to explain, or at least to find out if they are doing it right now, if it is part of their current program, that's fine. You know, that's all we are hoping for. And I think the time has reached now where we definitely need to get some response, you know, as to some of these issues that I've just mentioned. All right. So I think basically in summary, that's my those are my concerns. Those and I didn't sit down. Obviously, we are not sitting down. We actually did something as we were requested to do by our team here many months ago. We said, let us do this. Let us present it. Let us send it. Gary, we sent it. Nobody responded by either text or WhatsApp or reply to say yes or no, received or not. One minister replied, that is the Minister of Energy, Dr. Rudal Monilal. He indicated that we could meet. So I came back from Canada on Monday, and I did send a message to him that I am available. So I'm just waiting on whether or not he will reply to that. But basically, that was our only reply so far to all of what we have been sending. So I said, well, let us ask the Honorable Prime Minister to at least send it, ask the ministers to send it. If they don't want to, you know, listen it or read it because it might be too long, send it to the persons within their relevant ministries. And I am requesting to seek an audience or to at least call us if they can give us a chance so that we can go, Sumant, we can go and have a chat with them and see if that is possible. I have set a little timeline. I said that if by, let us say, November, right? I'm giving them until November after the budget, when the money comes in and there's some budget to do these things. If by then there's no response or there's no reply or there's no engagement, then I would probably leave this forum and just relax myself and retire peacefully in the two countries that I am living in now, Trinidad and Canada. So that's basically my plan. And hopefully, you know, a discussion could entail out of that.
Yeah.
Well, we have Councillor Sukhdev here with us. And Councillor, we'd like to hear from you a little bit as what's taking place under your wing in your community, and if there's any things you would like to update us on.
Hi, good evening all.
Hi.
You know, listening intently there to Dr. Amrup, and you know, I really hope that some of those things can, you know, materialize and we can get some assistance to help in certain areas, especially where disasters are concerned. I would have known Dr. Amrup in his tenure as the disaster management person at the head many years ago. And you know, sometimes experience and as you grow older, wisdom and experience, nothing trumps that. And the conversation that it really needs to be listened to from people who have had past experiences and things, because sometimes you have new people on board who may have theoretical knowledge, academics, but nothing beats actual experiences and on the field, on the ground. So, you know, I do hope some things, an air is given, and something comes out of it. With respect to what's happening down here in my electoral district, we continue to do what is necessary in my role as a councillor from the corporation. Nothing. We are hoping that in this fiscal 26-27 that some extra funds are forthcoming so that we are able to really provide some more services to the Burgesses at the Chaguanas Corporation. People have long awaited a change, and the change is here. And we are seeing how best, with the available resources, we can effect that change and not be same old, but able to really do something better, be able to meet the needs of what's happening. What I can tell you, Gary, is that a lot of work is presently going on in terms of flood mitigation. If you follow, well, you know, I know you follow most events in Trinidad, what's happening on a daily basis, you would see that even though we would have, for the past few days, we didn't have much rain, but we had a lot of rains in July and June, and there weren't really much flooding. There was some flash flooding, which of course, you know, can't stop that. But really the clearing of the waterways and so on, which is something they are doing, is really assisting it with the flood. Of course, in Port of Spain, you always had a flash flood in South Key and so on. And the low-lying areas, some of the low-lying areas in southern Trinidad. But in central, basically, which is a sort of a low-lying area, but because of the clearing of the water courses, we have not suffered any major flood situations.
We had some drastic intervention from you guys. You know, I mean, you guys worked very hard. And I mean, the whole team, everybody was out there.
Well, you know, as I say, we're trying to do what we can do. One of the things we are, this government, we're trying to do at the corporation levels is to really try and purchase extra equipment that would assist in this flood mitigation. Things, you know, sometimes you may say, why you buy a dump truck? What that have to do with flood? But you need the dump truck when you clear the silt to put it on the truck to take it away. You know, people only want to hear excavator and whatever, but you really need the supporting machinery when you have this. So we're looking at it holistically to see how best we can mitigate flood. I think in Central especially, we are doing a pretty good job in trying to keep the flooding away. Now with the I heard yesterday in the news that Central going to get some new police posts, which is welcoming, to curb the crime. And you know, I heard something, commentators saying, well, why are you announcing the police post before it is even erected? But people need to understand that this thing about stopping crime is not it can't come as a surprise. People has to know that listen, there are measures being taken place. This is what we're going to do, and these are deterrents from the crime becoming too much and escalating. Gary, you know, in Trinidad, you have speed traps for motorists. So if somebody's speeding on the highway, somebody comes out from behind a flyover post and give you a ticket. I remember driving in the States and in Canada, and where there are speed zones, there would be markers, there would be signs to say this is a speed zone area, so that people will be aware. And Trinidad need to take a page from that, because it is not about being punitive. It is more about being safe. And when you have that type of warning, people will slow down. So in places where maybe there may be prone certain parts of the highway where it curves, or you have some situation where you have accidents and at time, and those are the areas you put those signs, so that people could be warned and they slow down. So it's not about issuing tickets. It's more about safety measures to safeguard the community. So this is synonymous with the police post, in that it's good that you are. I see no issues in advertising it. So
something I strongly support. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that the would-be perpetrators would know. Listen, I will not go in that area, and that is the purpose of it, to deter the crime. So that is what's happening down here now. Of course, I was looking at an article where in the States, I think, that they have these mobile posts which are fully equipped, something like a mini police station on wheels, where you have all the amenities and facilities for the staff, the officers who are there, but it can also move, and it's bulletproof and so on. So that is something that I feel we should look at, to invest in, so that yes, they're saying we have drones to fly, and if a crime is committed, you can see and then you go. But I think we should also look at having some of this really mobile posts, so that it can actually move from place to place, at various times. Yeah.
So haven't Dr. Ramov, I want to talk to you a little bit before, but let me just answer, or not really, but contribute to what the counselor is saying. So it's about reaching the crime scene quick, preventing first, and investigating quicker. Because, Trinidad is a small country of just 1.4 million people, and you have 69 police stations in a small area like that, where the east-west corridor and maybe the western side have 3/4 of the people living. And then you have 30 more posts, so that's making 109, 160, 99, 69 and 30 and 9. So I think I'm saying this because maybe you never heard what I said sometime before. I would have liked to see the carnival model being applied in a 6 months instant, subject to be renewed, where every 2 miles you could find 2 policemen, and if you don't have enough, perhaps you could bring out the guards or reserve or whoever. So every 2 miles, a policeman is located. Two police are armed and waiting. You could get. I know Ramov was just on some of the Dr. Ramov was on some of these things just now. How long does it take a police to arrive at a crime scene? Do we know? Is it 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or we don't have any vehicle, and therefore we cannot come? You have some basic little things that we could perhaps help, rather than. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, because I want to try everything, and whatever works, we're going to go along. So whatever the government is trying, I would appreciate that, and that's what your point, Councillor. I want you all to succeed, and anything you try, I say let's go with it. But you have some things maybe like we could we could deal with that before we really have built 30 more police stations and have all this. Well, and had to rip them up anyway. And you talk about the on wheels, police station on wheels. I mean, our problem is not wheels, really. I think it's the quickness in response to a crime so that it can be detected before anybody gets very far. It's much more important.
That's the idea, Dr. Morris, is bringing the police closer to you, to your disposal.
Well, if it works, well, that's what I'm saying. But what is better than having and giving them a vehicle, an armed vehicle, and two miles apart? There's nothing quicker than that. You're 24/7.
Well, no, the vehicles are there. That has to be added. The police post is one part of the recipe.
Right.
You still have to add the vehicles.
So you have 99 police stations in what you have 1,900 square miles in Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, you're well pulled. You have enough units. I think the problem is them. I think Dr. Ramo mentioned that a while ago. What's your response time? How long does it take you to get to a crime scene? How long does it take you to get the 999, the 998, the fire engine to get to a fire? Those kinds of things, they need to work on these things. Some simple. I listened to Dr. Ramo just now. There are some simple little things that doesn't even call for a lot of investment. Something that the minister should grab and hold on to it. It makes him look good and it doesn't cost very much. Some simple little things we could do. I'm not saying I'm not against what this government and the council is saying. I'm not against what you guys are doing. But I'm still thinking that maybe there's something else. Like there's something else you could have done. Maybe like if it works, it's fine. I agree 100%. But I think that what's your response time? How long does it take you to a crime scene? Or you don't have a vehicle and therefore we couldn't come. I remember when they had the thing, and I told you what my niece got mugged in a home invasion in Balsig. The police said they didn't have any damn vehicle. And they came 45 minutes later, the bandit and pick up where they were going, but they beat up who they beat up and she cough up and kick up and swell up and everything and leave them. And the police didn't come 45 minutes later. They didn't have any vehicles. Their vehicle went somewhere. They have a different kind of problem dealing with. But I mean, I think, I don't know. I agree with you. Why do I support what you all are doing. It's just that I have some simple little things that is scheme, that perhaps you could look at.
Obviously, it has to be added.
What Dr. Ramos just said, I mean, he laid it out like it is. Some simple things that will cost you so little. Why don't you all do it? What you're waiting on? And the government doing some things, It's not that they're not doing nothing. It's just a matter of time when we get to all of these things. So go ahead, guys. Sorry, I just want to say that those two things.
No, that's understood. But when I say that, Doc, we understand that is part of the formula. Should be part of the recipe. The simple things are needed to be added. But yes, these police posts definitely is needed. They have to be equipped. And what I'm looking forward for is that these police posts will be also engaging the community in some kind of participation between the councillor and the MP, that we formulate and add more manpower to the police post that's already in the vicinity, that the police, the TTPS works with the councillors in training the residents, in patrolling and collaborating with them. Because this is you could have 100 million police, but if you don't add the community involvement, you could never succeed if you don't work that way. Go ahead, Councillor.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
No,
I mean, you understand my point about 99 police station and blah, blah, blah. So you just forget that. I don't know if you ever think about that, but go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, very valid. Very valid point in that. The more you have it spread out. One of the things I for many years now, I always espoused the joint patrols at mobile, like at various different points with the army and the police together. That I think that type of presence would be a serious deterrent for crime, because I don't think these guys really want to come up with men army with all their weaponry and so on. So it's the thing about it is, as you said, they're trying. And everybody will have their different ideas how to put it, but we may all have ideas, but the thing is, how much of it can be implemented, and which ones are taken into consideration to do it. So it's it's a catch-22 situation.
One of the counselor, one of the things that I'm trying to say, and I mean, I think you know what I'm talking about, is when we went to our schools, right? We started by learning the 2 times tables and 3 times tables and 4 times. Remember when we used to go out in the outside and we used to sit down and they said make us say one, two is two, two twos are four. Three. You remember that when we went as little children in elementary school?
On
Yeah,
that tree.
you remember those? And then they would
Yeah.
ask us to say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we learning it like crazy. We don't know what the hell the alphabet was, but we know A, B, C to Z. We know all the tables, man, from 1 to 12, 12 times. 12 is 120. I mean, this is what we learned by heart, didn't we? And then went to college, and then we learned E equal MC and V equal IR. We didn't know what the hell it was, but we learned the balance equations in elementary mathematics. And we didn't understand what V equal IR is only later on when we did O level or CSEC. Well, I did Cambridge O levels, and they will ask us now what is the R, what is the I, what is the V in physics. The point I'm trying to make is that there's certain things that are just science. It's just facts. It's just you have to take it for granted. You don't have to go back and question, right? What V equal IR is. Volts equal current by resistance. We don't have to go back and question, that auxins. When we see plants moving towards the light, we went and learned in biology that they had these little chemicals in the plant reacted to the sunlight, and they actually moved in the direction because of the way that these enzymes operated. We learned that as a fact, and we used to write that when we write our exams in the little structured paper. They'll ask us the question and we'll answer it, and we pass. And if you know more, you get an A. If you don't know as much, you get a B. If you don't know anything, you fail. The point is that there's a science, right? And there are facts, and there's evidence based on research that is done in past events and incidents in countries that have implemented programs. I mean, I went to Cuba, and there is a system of community policing. Granted that they have a very different government to ours, but the thing is that in the community they have these early warning points where people are given little cheap radios that they get from China, obviously. And in the little village they will get these retired counselors, retired police officers, retired teachers, retired doctors, whatever. They will be given this radio, and these persons would meet in a school or in a little area, right, in somebody's home, and they would know, like how we have for election, we have these street captains. They would go to every street, every village. They will get these people, and they will know on a street if Stephen Ramroop fell down today and he damaged his feet and he can't go and get water. They will know if John Brown, wife got a stroke. They will know if Shanti went into labor and she went into the hospital, right? And she came back home, and she had no one to take care of her because she had a section and she on bed with one baby and she has no husband. You understand? So the thing about it is these people knew these. So if something were to happen, or if there's a strange vehicle in the area, they would call and they will have that radio, and that radio will connect with people in the village and say, I'm seeing a black car, boy. That car don't be here. What that car doing inside here? you know so this sort of communication and connection is a very integral part of community awareness and community involvement. It's a simple, cheap, as you said, a cheap process. It is science, it is evidence, it has been done, there is a success, it has happened, you see. So my point is that there are certain things we just, wait until Dr. Ramrup tell you that you need to go to an advanced life support. Because listen to me, if we check 1 in 10 of us, we have diabetes, right? I am 65. I don't know what age you guys are. By 80, 70, 75, one of us will get a heart attack in Trinidad, at home or at work. One of us will get a stroke. right? And that is something that I am hoping that this government, we waited 10 years. We were doing a lot of stuff in People's Partnership. I was the CEO of ODPM at the time. We were going forward. We lost that traction when we lost the elections. For 10 years, basically, these people just maintained the country in a status quo. That's what they did. COVID might have caused a little problem, but I mean, it wasn't the excuse to keep the country the way it is. Now they have come back in, right? I am hoping that they take the opportunity to understand the science, that there are certain things you don't have to question it. You don't have to bring in new theories about something. The police posts are very important. They have been known to help, but they are not police posts as such. They are supposed to be part of community policing, right? So what you'll be selling is not the police post per se, but what the community policing is using the police post for. So that when you sell it and you market it, you're not marketing just the police post, but you're marketing the community involvement with the police post, just using that as a little, like a peace pole, like a totem pole, like a figurehead. And that's the science. So I hope you understand what I'm saying, and you're correct. And as I said, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not actually totally disagreeing with you. I'm not even disagreeing with you. And what you said is absolutely correct. That if they listen to the science, they don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel, because we learned these things already as little children. We didn't know what it was, so we just took it for granted, right? So take the science for granted. It is going to help because the evidence says that it's going to help. And don't waste time. Just put it in place and move forward. Because if you lose the election in 2030, right, a lot of the opportunities that you have to implement, the programs that will give you benefit, that will probably save you and I just for about a few days to meet with our little children and grandchildren and make peace with everybody before we go where we have to go, we don't even know, right? If we don't do that in this little period we have here, following the science, we're going to lose that opportunity in 2030. Trust me, and we will not have it again for a long time. So my hope is that in the last few years we have here, that somebody understands when I say that you have to have one call system, is not a joke, It's the science behind it and the evidence. When I say you have to move to an advanced life support system, I didn't say this is what we say. No, I put in it all the scientific references of what could be done, right? So that is why I have a little problem with the manner in which they marketed the police post. I went to Singapore, right? I was sent to Singapore as part of a community resilience program. And I saw they took old buses, like PTSD buses that were not used. They refurbished the buses and they put a pantry and they put a washroom. Many of you all have traveled abroad and you have traveled between large towns, and there are buses that actually have a urinal, right? And they have a toilet. You understand? They have, what they did is they made it in such a way that it was refurbished with a pantry and a washroom, right? And that bus can move. I mean, when you look at it there, you don't have to have a post on a platform. You could have a bus with a police with a mobile post, actually mobile. And this is actually being done in Jamaica. We are doing it in Canada right now. Listen, I'm not telling you what I'm imagining, I am actually now working in communities in Canada with a consultancy firm as an advisor and a consultant in community policing. And this is what we are doing. We are putting the buses and we're refurbishing them into community police posts. But they're not posts, they're moving and they're going into communities, they're going into villages, in some of the indigenous villages. They're bringing people, they're teaching them how to look at the village, giving them little radios to watch for the vehicles that are coming, right? Safety, disaster management, community resiliency. This is what is happening. So I would love to see that they do that. Yes, with the police post. I'm happy they put in it, like Dr. Maraj, but I also am a bit concerned that this.
Well, then we could add the mobile unit to it. We could add the mobile unit also.
And the point about it is that the community. All I'm saying is now, okay, we have the advantage. I am going for the police post, like Dr. Maraj. We're supporting it, But what we want to see now is that maybe after the budget, or if you have the money, you need money for some of these things. As soon as they begin, they have to now engage the community with the counselors, with the other persons, bring them to the community centers, go down and teach children about safety and not walking in little areas where they shouldn't be walking. I mean, we lost a little girl in Friendship Village not too long ago. The girl left her father's home to walk to go down the road, and they never she died. I mean, she died. Somebody murdered her, right? And they still haven't found the person as yet, right? Four other deaths surrounding that crime, right, have occurred, probably most likely related to that death. Nobody actually knows. But that was five deaths in a little area, about 200 meters away, 200 about a kilometer or two away from me. So there are community issues, right? Last night there was a gunshot, right, not too far from where I live, close to the Prime Minister, about 2 nights ago. All right, and again, these are things that we have, things like Shot Spotter. It's software that I saw when I sat at the National Security Council. I sat at the National Security Council for 5 years under the People's Partnership, right? I sat as one of the advisors to the ministers of government in the National Security Council. We had people who came to demonstrate things like shot spotter software and whatever, where if there's a gunshot in the area, the actual software can actually localize and pick it up at the National Operations Center. I still haven't heard how the National Operations Center is incorporating all of these agencies, including ODPM and disaster management, in the whole system of 24-hour situational awareness, right? So things that happen in Point Lisas or Maracas or Toco, if something happens, there is REACT, there's the Trinidad and Tobago amateur radio people. These ham people in disasters, when everything go wrong, when everything shuts down, it is the ham radio that connects. Counselor, you know that. So basically, these are some of our eyes and ears in the communities. So these people can come down to the police posts. They can go in the villages. They can begin to connect, just like Cuba, with the radios and the early warning posts, early warning points. Expand the program. Come out and tell the people, well, we are going to be expanding the program to involve the communities. That will be a very good sell. And that is the evidence, just like V equal IR and the auxins in the plant and the ABC that we had to learn, and the 2x2 tables we had to learn before we implemented. This is the things that actually work, not the police post. The police post is just a political intervention, in my opinion, and it is needed. I'm not saying it's not needed. It's politically correct, but it must be part of what actually reduces the crime, which is community policing and resilience in the societies. That is the evidence that we have that will bring down the crime, not the post. The police post is just the instrument of that, right? So that's just the point that I'm making. I know Dr. Maraj has his passion. Counselor, you are saying it, but you see, in the absence of the total understanding, right, you have to be politically correct in what you're saying, right? So I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. We have to get a police post, but I am just hoping that all the ministers go back to the technocrats and follow the science of what they're doing. That way, we will have a greater impact as a government, as a party, and that impact could be measured and it could be real, so that when we hit the platforms for local government election and or general elections, we actually can say definitely that we have moved from A to B. If we don't know what A is, we cannot know what B is. And that is what Dr. Maraj and I are saying, and Sumant, and this program. We have to know exactly what are the simple things, and we're not hearing it. What is the response time for fire and police, right? I had a bushfire here not too long ago, right? My property is 1.5 acres.
We lost you
It's
there.
close to the
For
Prime
some reason,
Minister.
we lost
We had a
your voice.
massive bushfire.
November here.
That bushfire was coming within meters of my office and my building. I called the fire services about 3 times, and they told me that they have no tender, none, to come to my place because there was a vehicle that was being burnt at the same time, and they had to deal with that, right? I had to go and get a hose, right? Luckily, I had a pump, right, with a generator, and I had to pump water and spray water to prevent that water from coming into my property. And that was in 2026, right, about 3 months ago when we had the bushfires. So, what is the response time? What is the average response time it takes an ambulance to reach a person or a child in a motor vehicle who is dying? What are the simple, basic times of response? So when the government now comes in 2030, you can say for sure, I improved the waiting time that I had to go in casualty from 3 hours to 2 hours. I improved the number of persons who are dying at home with heart attacks from 20 to 10. Now, this is basically what I am saying. Good.
No,
And I think what
yeah.
what
No,
needs to be done very quickly, because if it isn't, then we will not be able to stand up in 2030 and give any real evidence, right, that we have done anything. And that's what I'm worried about.
You know, one of the things with respect to responses, fire, ambulance,
Yeah,
police.
I think I'm kind of finished there. Anybody wants to add? It's okay.
Right. So what
well,
I'm saying,
no, sorry, Richard, go ahead.
the responses, while, you know, it all depends. Those responses sometimes are subjective, based on
Richard, I think you need to put on your mic.
Is it mute? The mic is on.
No, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Right. So the responses, while it should be some set time, there are a lot of factors that may negate that or may not be able to respond
Counselor, I'm not
in the
sure.
time.
I'm not. Anybody hear any, Counselor?
Yeah, I'm here.
Dr. Abdul, come back and come in out because I'm hearing him good.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody hearing?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hearing
So-
you. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, so the responses there is, it should be some specific times. I think they set times, right? But it all depends now on the personnel who has to respond.
On the what? What
The
Richard?
You could never have a set time. What we're looking for is the improved response time. And
Right, when I think- right, so
and
it
the
should-
training, and also you should have, as the counselor, they should have the ability to some resources, and you could say, well, this is what we need, and you could give some guidance from your level, you know, that they are collaborating with you as the counselor. That's what we're looking for, you know, in the community engagement. The only person who's qualified there is you as elected representative there to lead the community in that.
Well, as Dr. Ramut would know, the disaster management section of each corporation are the ones who would respond with respect to things that may affect them according to the services that the corporation provides. And the disaster management, like if you have a store, disaster management responds and carry a tarpaulin or some, these type of things, a mattress and so on, to assist people. But with respect to the ambulance and the fire and the police, what I'm saying is that maybe it can be improved, but it all depends also on how you manage the resources at the various respective stations, like the fire station.
Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. Go ahead.
So the management aspect is sometimes even more important than the resources that you have, because you may have resources, if it is not managed properly in terms of managing the personnel, ensuring that the vehicle is in a state of readiness, you know, to quick when you're looking at a show and so on, in the States and so on, and you hear a fire call, you see within 30 seconds, a minute, the thing pull out and go on. So because they are managed properly, so they have to change maybe some of the management style to be able to show that, to respond in a quicker time. And it could happen.
Yeah.
If you if you are proactive and put measures in place, even like certain routes, right? If you know a fire, wherever the fire station is, and you have to go to certain routes, you must have that planned out to know if there are any things in the way that may stop you, how you
And
deal
any
with.
alternate route that you can take to get there quicker. You should be a person familiarized with it. You should have the necessary equipment to assist you
Yeah, but Gary, that is common
facilitating that
sense, you
move.
know. That is not rocket science. That is common sense. The
Exactly.
thing is that you need to change some of the
I
managers.
mean, we have a lot of work to be done, but the thing about it, the team is very eager to help, and they're not being engaged, and that is, that has become very frustrating to them. I engaged them, I brought them on board together with me, hoping that we could, make a difference, and we have some interaction, but the ministers are not engaging. They have them in limbo, and these guys are, we all work. We're supposed to be all in this together. These guys are giving them time free also, they're not asking for money. They just want to help, a lot of people.
And Gary, a lot of these things we trashed out earlier on. Remember all low hanging fruits which we mentioned.
Dr. Rama, be back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, Doc, just endorsing what you said. Remember last year we did all these low
So
hanging.
we're hoping that the community, the police post is broken down to where it works in the indulgement and involvement of the community. We're looking for something like that aspect where councillors are engaged and are respected, and the views of the councillors and the participation and the indulgement of to bring the community on board where we all collaborating in curbing the crime, because this could never be a police alone operation.
Yeah,
never be.
as I said, I think it's a very politically correct intervention at this time, aimed at reducing crime as a whole. All I'm just saying is that what we now have to do now is to stick to the evidence that is available all over the world in terms of this program, and just now have somehow a communication as a party, as a government, is not so good. So I really feel that we should really work on communicate now as we go forward with these police posts, and expand the role. They are saying that it will curb crime. They are saying that it's going to be at least there. So at least having them there, and it does work. I mean, this is one of the things that does work. So I'm happy about it. It's just that
But any additional resources will help. Any additional. Even a volunteer. If you get 5 volunteers, that would make a drastic difference.
Beautiful. And listen, you have a police fella sitting down there, no matter if you don't have a car, at least he's there, and or a police officer. At least somebody could go to him and say, hey, so this thing is happening. So there are benefits, and we're not getting worried about that. It's just that what I'm going to say now, just having it there alone, right, is not going to reduce the crime. So therefore, it must be part of a program, which I'm positive that is in the hands of the minister. That is a program that has already been handed in by the technocrats. Community policing, it is in the manifesto. We did see it there. So it means that it is going to be done, right? So all I'm saying now is a good time now to say, well, look here, it is part of a bigger program. And we do have some recommendations that we have put forth. And all we want now is somebody to say, well, look, okay, we hear what you're saying. We're doing it already, right? And what we're doing here now is the first part of a 10-part plan. And this is the strategy. We're going to implement this. That's all we want to hear. And we'd be happy. We just sit back and say, okay, well, do what you're doing. But what we are concerned is that, I am concerned is that, okay, you're not telling us it's part of a bigger program. You're telling us right now because the PNL is getting on like a crazy set of backsides out there. Some of the people who don't want to support UNC, they're going to always make stupid comments, right? But the thing about it is, the Prime Minister put a foot down. All you're going to do it, we're doing it, and we're going ahead. No matter what, we're going to do it. And that is beautiful. It is going to help. It is going to help. What we want, what we need to happen, not what we want to happen, is that we want to see now your strategic plan, your strategy going forward, right? And we want to see how you're going to be targeting now your crime reduction in a meaningful, measurable way, because that is what's going to give you your votes in 2030. That is what's going to actually reduce the crime, right? That is what we want to see. But there are certain things, like as I talked about the trauma registry, right? Let me explain something to you. I was the head of the emergency department at the Stanford Hospital.
Let me
for
just
10
interject there a
years.
minute, please.
During that time, I implemented what is called the injury surveillance system. At that point in time, we were already starting to see the trends from machete, cutlass type injuries to gunshot injuries, right? And this was in 2006 to 2009. We were already seeing changes in gang type warfare, gang type fighting, right? We are seeing, for example, there are persons who come into the hospital and they're talking about their father assaulted them or their stepfather sexually assaulted them or was interfering with them. Now, all of these things, if you look at the amount of that comes into these hospitals, they are about 100 times when you actually get a reported incidence of sexual assault. So what I'm trying to say is that when you get a report of sexual assault, it is just a report, a reported incident. It's not the incident that has been covered up by the families who have sit down and worked out, and that comes into the hospital. I am not asking you, I'm telling you. So deaths, mortality, right, is just a tip of the morbidity data that we have. If you have 25 accidents on the highway and only one is reported, you have 25 injuries and casualties in San Fernando, Princeton, Maya, and Couva. You have 25 injuries, only one might be reported. So what I'm talking about is when you analyze the data at hospitals, it gives you more understanding of things like domestic violence, accidents on the highways, self-inflicted injuries, suicides, attempted suicides. For every one suicide that hits the papers, there are about 20 attempted suicides that goes into the hospital. So what I'm trying to tell you as a trauma surgeon, orthopedic surgeon, healthcare management consultant, forensic medicine specialist, is that you have to go in now and check your information from the hospitals to give you the real trends in crime, because the reported incidents and the mortality and the gunshots and the homicides is just a tip of the iceberg.
Two different things, man.
Okay?
Yes.
And we started this damn thing when I was there in casualty, right? When I left casualty in 2011, when I went in as medical director, I continued it. When I left the hospital in 2011, I went to ODPM, everything fall along. They stop it.
Right. 1 second, guys. So, Counselor, I want to thank you for taking the time.
My research data has been used in a number of papers. Just recently, somebody accessed and I had to get permission as the lead author. I mean, I did scientific papers based on studies at San Fernando General Hospital when I was a doctor there. I didn't sit down and just go to work in the morning, go home in the evening, go to my private practice. I did actual studies of cases coming in, and I was beginning to form the trauma registry.
Yeah,
the trauma registry tells you how much persons in Barapor, San Fernando, anywhere in the south who are actually trying to kill themselves.
Right.
So it tells you where the suicide information is, and it will tell you more after COVID, because all over the world, my colleagues and them talking on WhatsApp, my colleagues from WHO, my colleagues from United States who are in what Trump closed down the other day, all of us are talking, and we are seeing an increase in attempted suicides all over the world, right? So when you see one child kill themselves or one child hang themselves or whatever, that is just the tip of the iceberg of a country that has severe mental stress. And I'm telling you as a fact, because my son is a doctor. He's a specialist in ear, nose, and throat at the San Fernando General Hospital. So he tells me what is going on. All right? So that's why I'm a bit concerned. And I'm worried because time is going. We don't have much time again. Time is coming. The last year, we lose that year, Sumant. We lose that year because that's the election year. So if you really think about it as a government, we only have a couple of years. So I'm worried.
So Gary, gentlemen,
Yes.
I have to take my leave, but I just want to make one comment before I leave. I listen, the times I came on this program, and I listen to the ideas that have been espoused. I do hope that an attentive ear is given some time to take some of the ideas, some of the recommendations, because we have a lot of people out there who really want to see this government do good and want us to improve. I'm hoping that it reaches those ears that would really give us some thought. Gary, you'll check your WhatsApp And the next time I come on the program, I'll speak on it. I sent you something there. So the next time I come, I'll tell you something
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Soon as you're ready, we're always available. Any day you want to say something, we're ready to go with you. All
I'll tell
right,
you
and
about that organization, right?
all
So,
right then. So we'll talk
gentlemen,
us.
yeah, good
Yeah.
night to everyone. Yeah,
Thank
Good
Right.
you,
night.
Counselor, for taking the time to join us.
sure. Have a good night.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks, guys.
Have a good
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
All right. So Dr. Ramo, we could continue. Dr. Ramo, you can go ahead.
The volume out. Yeah.
You walk away, I think, is it? Hello?
Yeah, but
I'm not sure
I
if he's
think
hearing me, but you guys can continue the discussion.
yeah, but Gary, you know what? A lot of these things coming up again, we go to thing. Remember last year early on, we had identified a lot of low hanging fruits which required not much expenditure, but easy and quick to implement. Now, what Richard is saying that the management needs to be more focused and this and that. But these are what's called pain points. And these things should all have already been worked out. You can't tell me the fire station, for example, don't know it's dry season. So then you're going to look for water. No, man. Come on. They could do better than that. The management structure, they have to be proactive in their thinking and don't let the same management process stall the improvements which you want to make. And that is where my grievance is, because you can't tell these same people could not implement before. You think they're going to implement now, or you think they're capable of implementing now? That's the question mark for me. So and that is the same with all the state agencies and so on. You have the same
I'm
people
getting a
saying,
feedback from somebody. I don't know. If you guys not talking, mute your mic while the other person is talking. Okay.
right.
Go ahead, Suman.
Yeah, that is my grievance, that with no one identified the pain points that needed to be resolved to restructure the systems in place. And to say that, I mean, with all due respect, to me, this is an excuse because we have to do better.
Suman, check and see if you signed in twice because I'm getting an echo from you. I don't know.
No, I had only once I am here. You want me to come out and come back in? Okay.
So far it's okay now. I'm not hearing again, but continue.
All right. Yeah, but this is what. So my view is that they should have worked out all their pain points and to realign how they're going to do things, at least the regime that is. And a year and a half has gone. I think it's high time they should have done these things. And don't expect the old management to resolve the current problem because they will just be sitting on their asses, so to speak, and let the system roll along. We have to do much better in these areas, especially things like fire, police, healthcare, all these things. We have the people, we have some bright people, bright personnel who can resolve these problems. These are what I said. These are pain points, and anytime there are pain points, there are solutions for these things. So we have to start collecting the data as well, set baselines and so on, set response times so that by 2030 we can say exactly what Dr. Ramrup is saying, that we used to take half an hour to reach the hospital, now we take 20 minutes. Okay, that is an improvement. Or things like along that line.
Gary, I'm not sure if you all can hear me, but I am not hearing anything. I don't know if you all are hearing me, but I can't hear anything.
I am hearing you, Doc. Yeah, Gary, are you hearing us?
Gary.
I'm hearing you,
Is
Suman. Go
that-
ahead.
Yeah. Dr.
Go ahead,
Ramrup
Dr. Marj.
saying-
I'm hearing you too. Go.
Okay.
Dr. Ramrup not hearing. He's not hearing us. Yeah, Dr. Maharaj, you wanted to say something?
No, I just wanted the point I make when Dr. Ramrup left off. I felt a bit moved by his commitment and passion, and then having to lay it all out and saying, I will walk away. I mean, this is...
But that's what it is, you know. That I was on the same agenda myself. And I tell myself, if you might get all the recommendations, you want the party to succeed, but who is listening to you? Or us, I should say. Sometimes they do. Most times they don't.
Well, Dr. Ramrup, I spoke to him sometime before, and when we were speaking, I had mentioned he had a long list of very interesting ideas, but I don't know how to line them up. And I was thinking about when he was here, I was saying that there might be some simple changes that a minister or a department can do with very little cost or very little changes, and the results will be fantastic.
Yes, that's the same point I'm making.
Yeah.
You can't say more people.
If Dr. Ramrup could line them up in such a way, like from the easiest to the hardest, some things could be done in 1 year, something can be done in 2 years, something had to be done in the second 5 years, because he had a long list of things that we may not be able to get to, because he's measuring against foreign countries, which we would like Trinidad to get to, but we still a third world country, man. So we can only go so fast. And then we have a cultural mentality where, you know, if it can be done tomorrow, why not wait? Why do it today and tomorrow? Well, what we going to do tomorrow? You know. So if we have a cultural problem that we also have to deal with. So when we visit foreign countries and live in foreign countries and we realize how it's different, then we have a different kettle of fish to deal with here, man. So I was telling you that we want to win this election in the next 5 years around, and we have to let our slackness in the system because we want to be there for a long time to come.
That's
Because
right.
those people who we mentioned earlier tonight, they don't have much to lose. They're just going to be happy again, eating a five loaf a week and be happy and say, well, let's have a good time. God is a Trini, the oil molly go flow sometime again. Let me go. You know, but the serious people like Ramrup and myself and many of you and most of the in the UNC people, I mean, we have an axe to grind and we're trying to get it done, but in the best interest of everybody. So when
right.
Dr. Ramrup said he'll have to walk away, that offended me a bit. In the sense, I understand what is in your mind, because, you know, I have been through that myself. But I used to get a lot of stuff done that I wanted, you know. So I never experienced maybe like what you all are going through.
Doc, when in the middle of the system and you know the flaws and you know what the solutions are, and they are simple solutions, and
Right.
no one is taking you on,
Right.
how long you think you will be able to stand
Right.
up and take up with this bullshit? There's only so much, and you've seen the mistakes. Management is going to tell you, we need to do this, yes, you need to do the damn thing. Yeah, a year and a half now. And you can't say people who are
yes,
there in the system.
if you all didn't do it as yet, here what I want to suggest, like some of those you mentioned it just now, low hanging fruits. Isolate one or two of these, and with Gary, yourself, and me, or whoever again, and of course Dr. Ramrup, send it off to that particular ministry or minister, and CC the party executive. So. Before we walk away, we want to really say, you know what? I give you a simple solution, and all of us will get angry in the end, because a simple thing like this, what's your key back, Mr. Minister or Mr. Technocrat? What is your key back? You're in a new dispensation. Those days are gone. You're unfit to where we are right now. You should be left behind and go back into somewhere. So what I'm saying is that if you could get one or two items and prove that they really just like the PNM. And we want to do that. We know they're not, but we're just saying that they need to respond, because I don't think we ain't not
Yeah.
charging them for these things.
We need
These
to
people are
do-
getting free advice,
Yeah.
and I would charge normally. Our consultant charge differently. We're not doing that. We're just giving you free advice. Grab it and run with it. It's free, and will help you. You will look good. You'll come out smelling good. Take it and run with it. So that those, if Dr. Ramo could isolate some of those, I mean, he laid them out well. Some has some costly and some short run, and some can be done. If you could identify maybe two of them to a particular minister, say like the minister of Homeland Security or the minister of Health or something like that, and I send it to them, and later on we'll be holding that against them in case they didn't operate or follow through on what we said. So that kind of thing I would like to see before Dr. Rambo.
One second, Dr. Ramro, are you hearing us? Dr. Ramro,
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Are you hearing
I'm
us?
hearing you now. I'm hearing you now. But after a while, I don't know. For some reason,
Something
I
is
just-
wrong. I just added him back.
But-
I just added him back. I'm not
Well,
hearing.
let's see. Are you hearing me right?
Okay, go ahead,
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah,
Marge.
Good, right.
Yeah.
So if Dr. Ramo could isolate, maybe we must have done so already. Let's give it one more try and say this will cost you very little, if anything, and the results are going to be abundant. Can you implement this? Here's a simple solution. Some things are long and will take a little while, but here's two things that you could do, and then we'll see for ourselves. You know what happened? I think we're wasting our time. Something is
Yeah,
not
we could do
happening
that.
here.
Definitely, we could do that. Definitely.
So let's take one more try like that and isolate and then send it off.
Okay, that's good advice. I'll do that.
Yeah.
And CC Gary or somebody else on the team could have a say in it. Dr. Singh is there, Mr. Soman Singh is down there as well. If they could buttonhole them fellas anyway, let the party executive know that not the ones in parliament, but somebody that, like, I think we had the PRO, he comes on here at times too. Maybe even he letting him know that you're doing X, Y, and Z, and hopefully something will happen.
Yeah, but Doc is a year and a half gone, you know.
I know, but that's nothing. They were feeling they were around still. The time will come when it might be a little bit. In other words, I want to tell you around Dr. Rambo. I understand how it's frustrating, but let me not give up yet now.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things. You know, you can't really leave your house. Eh? You could go far.
Sorry.
But,
I made that
eventually,
decision already, Doc.
But
No, man.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I support the party, regardless of what. I want them to see that they could win the next
Yeah.
Doc, are you hearing us?
election. Eh?
Yes, I'm hearing you guys now.
Right.
Hold up, guys. Let me hear the Dr. Singh. Hold on, Doc. I want to hear Doc. Dr. Ramlo?
Yes, I'm hearing you guys now.
Not
I'm hearing you guys
him,
now.
even though he's
You have an
Okay, so-
echo in your system, Gary.
Yeah, I'm hearing you guys now.
All right. Yeah. No, Doc, I agree with you 100%. I felt the same way, and I just walk away. But
no.
that doesn't mean to say I'm not supporting the party. I wish them well. I hope they can win the 2030 election. I will do whatever it is I can do to help them. But I realized it took me a while. I was in a, iffy position. Yes, no. Should I continue? Yeah, for 6 months. And then I realized that I approached a certain man and said, you need help in anything? Oh, I know he is hard pressed, but no, we'll handle it our way. And this was the feedback I got.
Yeah.
So I just say, take you guys bullshit. You do what the hell you want to do.
The thing is that for 10 years I didn't help anybody. Yeah. The thing is I mean, unless they paid me to do something, which they didn't hire me in any jobs, so I didn't have to input anything. I waited quietly. I suffered quietly. You know, I went and I did as much as I could do to raise my money. I remortgaged my house. You know, I fixed. You know, I had to survive, right? Because of my closeness to the Honorable Prime Minister, not just as a neighbor but as a friend. When the other party people, when UN PNM people saw us together and saw me in ODPM and saw pictures of us at the house, so I suffered because no matter what. They wouldn't even hire me in any position. So I didn't help anybody, right? I provided some help to some of the private sector for the COVID, right? And I worked with CARFA as one of the consultants in CARFA. And I did a lot of work down the islands and regionally with CARFA, right, to help the resiliency of a lot of those communities with COVID and COVID advice, right? So I also did some work in Canada. So the thing about it is that I didn't provide all of these, you know, I didn't send anything on disaster management, forensic then at all. I waited until we won the election. And from then on, Suman, we gathered, you know, we consulted. I mean, look at Dr. Maraj. He has been giving some very good advice. We have this boy from, you know, Venezuela. I'm so sorry that, you know, he had to go through these difficulties. But the thing about it is that we had other persons come in the program, you know, economists, whatever.
Wade was there with us.
And we have been providing some reasonable advice now in our term of office. So we didn't do it for the last 10 years. You know, we are doing it now because it's our party, it's our people, it's our country. We want to see it get better. And not only that, we want to have a better life for us. I'm going to be living here. Although I'm going to Canada, I don't intend to stay there. I'm just going to spend time with my daughters until I get really old and I can't travel again. The point is that this is my country. And I really want to know that if something were to happen to me tonight or next week, or you know, and when these ministers finish their term, they must finish. Everybody finish it. They wouldn't be ministers of government for the rest of their lives. Obviously, they're gonna come a time when they will get older, right? They will come back into their homes, and they'll be just like any other citizen. They will be dependent on the ambulance system. They will be dependent on the police for crime, and whoever is running the government at the time. And it wouldn't be them. That's how life is. It changes. That is the reality of it. So wouldn't it be a really nice thing now that you're there to put things in place so that when you retire and when you become an ordinary citizen in the community, which will happen, there will come a time when you reach 70, 75 and you will be dependent on an ambulance system. Why don't you put it in now for your mother and your brother or your uncle or whatever? Just a simple thing. Why don't you listen to us and start putting it in gear? If you are doing it, if you are saying that it has been done, well, then at least say, hey, doc, it's been done. Don't worry.
Great
and that
job.
would be even better for us. We feel better, wouldn't it? But you're not even telling us that you're doing it. So that's what have me a bit frustrated. Tell us at least that you're doing it. If you don't want to answer me, right, answer Gary. Or tell somebody to tell Dr. Amrup or Dr. Maraj or Dr. Suman, hey, tell them boys, don't worry now. We're doing things. Tell the PRO to give Gary a call, and Gary could tell us. You don't even have to tell us directly if you don't want to talk to us. If you're vexed with us or whatever it is. If you think we are PNM or whatever. Just get the message out, because we are sending you messages free of charge, lock, stock, and barrel. And this is not things that it is based on evidence, it's based on science, it's based on research, it's based on contemporary programming. This is it. This is the best that you could be getting. Free. All we're saying is that tell us if you're doing it. If you're doing it, fine. We're happy. We're happy like Papi. Then I would come back from Canada. I will live here for the rest of my life, because, you know, I'd be happy because we have a advanced life system where if I get a heart attack in Philippines right now, an ambulance will come pick me up, take me to San Fernando, and I have a chance of at least seeing another 5-10 years, because it is possible. Other than that, if you're not putting it in between now and 2030, I mean, I'm not going to walk away, doc. I'm going to actually go to Canada and live. You know the point of it? I'm a permanent resident, and now I just have to take up residency and then go to take up citizenship and then go. I might have a better chance of at least having a little life with my family and my grandchildren as long as possible. Just hugging a grandchild is one of the greatest things in life, right? So if I have that opportunity in Canada, not here, if you don't want to put in an ALS system, you know, I actually cried when that girl died in Tobago. You know why I cried? It wasn't because of the death, you know, because things happen. It was just because of the fact that there was a chance that this girl could have lived. You know what I mean? And that is what is so hurtful.
And the point is that you will have seen these things before, you have the experience, you could advise them properly. But who is listening to your advice or my advice or anybody's advice? And this is what, if you feel neglected, if you put in the effort, we show them the low-hanging fruits, where was it, all of this thing? I ain't seen it. If they're doing it, fine. But if they're not doing it, why are they not doing it? Council Supreme said there is a management issue. Well, solve the damn problem. If it's a management issue, you have the same people over
Well,
year in, year out.
we changed government. That's why we changed government, right? Because there was a management issue, right? That's why we changed
But it's- But
government. We
the
know we have
same
a lot
people
to
there,
fix.
Gary, the same people there, and they couldn't implement before. What do you think they can implement now? You see, so they need to reassess this whole management thing. If that is the issue, then either you have to change your managers, change your plans, whatever it takes. You have to do it.
Yeah, but
That's-
see, that's what I'm telling you all again. I'm repeating myself again. I'm telling you, the technocrats that you all are referring to. First of all, this is different than in 2010 or even in 1986. This time, PSA has strongly
So man,
supported. Hello? Hello?
Go ahead. Yes, Doc. I'm hearing you.
Okay. The technocrats, the PSA has strongly supported this government. And we really cannot ride roughshod over them as you normally would by putting your own people. And some of you mentioned it sometime before, where you staff with your own people and I said it, and you elevate them, and so therefore they become the contact to the minister, and they kind of have a second connection. We can't do that here because of the nature of how we won this election and where we are right now. So we have to tolerate a level of slowness and slackness in the system because we have to know what we're dealing with. So we want to get it done, and we want people, the same people, the management scale, but all that's not nice. But you just cannot rough the upper cart too much because of the nature of our composition of the government this time is a little different than it was in 2010, and it's even different when Pandey came in 1995, and of course it's certainly different than in 1986. So the solution would be we had to get it done. We were roughshod over. No, we can't. We could, but we'll be running against a wall to the people who appeared on our bandwagon and help us in whatever way it seems as though they were helping us, and maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I would say it did, and that is why we won government with such a large majority. So my point is that I understand what you all are saying, and I said this. I agree with you all 100%. But I have a but in all of this, and you see what I'm getting at, because we have to win this damn next 5 years, and then we could see where we could get a little more rough in the interim. Right now, we have to be smart, manage smartly rather than efficiently. That's the point I want to make, really.
Right.
Manage smartly rather than efficiently. Although efficiency is the best, but Trinidad is not ready for efficiency. Smartness, yes. Efficiency, no. So we have done that. And last week, in fact, when we left that night, we said, get your politics right. That's what we meant. Dr. Rambo had listened to this conversation we had last time around, but it was telling us that, all is grand. I tell Dr. Rambo this many times. All this nice plan we have, I wish I could get them. They're supposed to be the best for all of us, but we could only bite so much and chew so much. Even though we could solo faster, we have to take it easy. We have to what was the word again? What was the word for chewing or country? I forget the word I want.
but Doc, then if you go come and say this, and they say this, and they didn't deliver it.
That's right, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No, we do. We know who like us, and we know who don't like us. We know our friends, and we know that's the first thing we knew who our enemies are and who our friends are, and therefore we look into.
We campaign on a certain level of performance.
That's right. Yes. But remember, we have party to this coalition. And why?
You have to remember the performance is not the criteria, man, because in 2010 to 2015,
Oh,
they
yeah,
had
you
the
bet.
best performance
Yeah.
ever in Trinidad history, and
Yeah.
yet they get voted out.
Yeah, because I
So
thought in 5 years the book of second time because nobody could have beat that performance.
correct.
It didn't work.
It
Old
didn't
talk
work.
beat performance. We were saying the other way around, and that didn't
Exactly.
work. But old
Performance
talk beat
beat
performance any day, anytime.
Old talk always beat performance from history.
So you have to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. And I asked my Afro brothers in this UNC that they can tell you how to do it. Just ask them. I see sometimes they listen to Indians fighting each other and they say it's jackass Indian and it's so stupid. But they don't say anything. I could hear someone in Indian fight. I mean, especially Romeo and Juliet or what the hell they were in those days. Romeo and Juliet. I don't want panic. He came at me, Caesar. I don't know who the hell he was. But all of them make me laugh. All those Indian in the party make me laugh. because if I'm African, I'll have a good laugh in the corner. A bigger laugh.
Sure. Right.
Yeah, you know where you're coming from. So I would encourage you guys to keep on going really forward. I mean, I really in this thing because I want the country to go forward, and I have no regrets about it. Because really, I'm not making any demand, but if they're doing nonsense, I mean, they could be nonsense. Like I was saying the last time when I left you all, you know, so far I think they're doing pretty okay. But I understand what Dr. Rambert was saying, and I think they could do better in some simple little things, and that's why I'm trying to isolate those nice little low-hanging fruit, as someone mentioned. We could get that low-hanging fruit, Dr. Ram could isolate them, and we could send them off and say, you know, now you know what you guys, you all know. You know. I think they meant to. They mean well also. So I don't want to write them off either, and I don't want to walk. Or none of us should walk away until the next 5 years. We'll see what happens in the first 5. So I would encourage Rambrook, no matter what happens, Dr. Rambrook, no matter what happens, stick it out at least to see them win that next 5, and then all of us could quit. So leave it to the next generation, kind of thing. So I don't know if I'm making sense. I think so. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
An option. That's an option, but sometimes the level of frustration takes over when you know very well this thing ain't going to work, and you should follow this path. Yeah. And you do not see that happening. Yeah. How long will you tolerate it? Or how long, especially what he's saying is correct. You may get a heart attack and no ambulance to the hospital. You're right there, 5 minutes, you know, from the hospital.
Well, that is exactly what got me involved into the politics in the first place. And it's my father.
You see, that's correct. So if that incident did not happen to your dad or whatever, then you would not have been in the politics.
But that's the identical thing that got me involved in the politics.
Right. So you experience it personally.
Yeah.
Right. That is the same point. When you experience something personally, like Dr. Rami knows what it is going to, you know, happen in the health system, so to speak, and you see that certain simple things can be done.
I wanted to know what the hell going on in the country. I said, well,
same thing. I still don't know. But I support the party.
Then, you know, I mean, we were what, 5 minutes, say 5-10 minutes from
Shogunan Health Center.
Yeah, health center.
Yeah.
And you know, they can't make up their mind where they're sending an ambulance from what direction. And then they insult my sister for calling the police station. She forgot. I mean, she lived overseas so many years, so she thinks that she can call the police like how we do it here. And but listen to me, these people, they're lackadaisical, they're puhar, they're korhi, even anywhere they are way to put it. All right, they have you can't tell them what to do. All right, they go there and they act like a maharaja in the police or in the health center or the hospital, and they could buff you up and talk to you. The nurse, in fact, I was recently told that my sister-in-law was in Trinidad and her father went to the San Fernando hospital and the nurse was buffing him up, and she didn't realize that my sister-in-law was there with him. You know, why you come here? You was just here. Why you come here again for? Right?
Yeah, man, that is stupid.
That's the hoggish kind of way So this kind of management has to improve. They can't talk to we blasted people like that. You're paying a health surcharge. You're not getting it free. Or every taxpayer paying a health surcharge. Okay.
And these are the things that gets people annoyed. And they have people are damn right to be thinking like that. You know what? Only when you experience it, then you know.
We didn't get involved in this because we had nothing better to do. We don't come here and discuss these things because we have nothing better to do. We're making time. You know,
Right.
we're making time to get involved to make sure the country is better for all of us together.
Yeah.
We are opening the door to engage members of the diaspora and to come on board because I mean we're not the only one that interested in these things. All of us belong to Trinidad and Tobago. All of us would need an ambulance. All of us would need a response from the police. All of us would need better service when we go to immigration in Trinidad and not be treated like we shouldn't go there, right? I mean, I experienced the kind of nasty behavior and why the immigration officers don't wear name tag, and they, you know you can't ask them nothing. They want to rough you up. You know, I mean, you know, so this is all the reasons a lot of us make an effort to get involved in politics. It's not that we have nothing better to do. I have a very busy life here. You'll be surprised the amount of things that I'll be dealing with at the same time.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, don't feel like we have nothing better to do. Anyway, gentlemen, you know, you guys let me know if you want to continue tomorrow. See what's going on.
Yeah,
You
let me
can
just
come
make
aboard
this,
and
let me make this quick point that you all Dr. Ramo, but he left also. He was making the point that and I know you all get it. He was making the point that and which part of what I was saying myself, I agree with the police post and everything, but he was making the point that there's something else because a police post doesn't mean anything until you put a meaning to it.
yeah,
So
well, you have to add a program. You have to add some resources to it. You have to create what they call like an SOP where there has to be. You have to spell all these things because the police will go and sit there and act like kings and pose up with a gun and they will not engage the community. So you have to put a plan of action in place.
yeah, but before you do that, they may very well know what to do. But the people in John Public, which is included,
Know what to do. Know what to do. Act like a bully and with a machine gun in your hand and that the plan of action.
so the police, what Dr. Ramo point is that the police must sell the idea, as he said, community policing. So up
The
now, the
police
people
don't
know
have to
that,
sell the idea. The Ministry of National Security and the government have to
Correct.
sell the idea
Correct.
and,
They are the
put,
ones to sell
put
the
a
idea.
strategy in place which includes the community, a plan for the community engagement. This is what we're saying. Because no police force, the best police force, can fight crime alone. All right?
That's right.
And it is in our interest. This is our interest where we are seeking our own interest in our community to work with the police and not be betrayed by the police. These are the things we want. So, I mean, you know, all right, gentlemen, but go ahead, Dr. Baraj.
all right, I was just making that point really. And so you need to communicate your ideas clearly so they wouldn't be a PNM. You know what the PNM say? They put in this post because they couldn't get the extension of the SOE. So this is a one way getting back to those.
Man, let me tell you something.
So
Listen to
what
me.
I'm saying that
like
the UNC have,
Satan and the host is going to celebrate that things going good with you, right?
so the UNC must sell that Dr. Ramo point anyway. So I'm
No,
bound.
that's saying that what we expect. We're going to not do anything good for them because
right.
the chaos, Dr. Maharaj, the chaos, it was good for them.
Yeah.
Like them style, you know?
They don't want you to succeed, so leave it like it is. Okay.
Yeah. I think we should come back on tomorrow night and make some more.
Yeah, we'll talk another day. All right. Good night, guys.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, definitely, I think we should do something tomorrow night. All right, guys.
Okay.
Let's come blow some more gas in the tail. Oh, hey, come on.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Tell Dr. Ramo to come on again. We want to hear him.
All right then.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
मोहब्बत दिल का सुख
दिल की तड़प है ये इंतजार
मोहब्बत
दिल का सुकून है दुआ
मोहब्बत
दिल की तड़प है ये इंतजार
ओ देखा है आज हमने सनम
आपकी आंखों में प्यार मोहब्बत
दिल का सुकून है एतबार
मोहब्बत भी देख सकती ने सारी बातें मैं सुनूंगी सोनिया तेरे दिल से ना कभी खेलूंगी सारे राज अपने मैं तुझको दे दूंगी मेरी जान तूने मुझको पागल है किया मेरा लगता ना जिया तेरे बगैर तू मान मेरी जान मैं तुझे जाने ना दूंगी मैं तुझको अपनी बाहों में छुपा के रखूंगी तू मान मेरी जान मैं तुझे जाने ना दूंगी मैं तुझको अपनी आंखों में बसा के रखूंगी तू मान मेरी जान
Love like a satellite, all of the stars align. No one but you and I, from now till the afterlife. Love like a satellite, all of the stars align. No one but you and I, from now till the afterlife. In my heart there is some pain, don't ask me why, I can't explain. Maybe I did love her too, now there's nothing I can do on the other side of town. Her love is waiting on, as she's waving me goodbye, I think my heart is gonna cry. वो चली देखो प्यार की गली उसे रोके ना कोई वो चली ना 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 मेरी जान देखो जाना ना वहाँ कोई प्यार का लुटे ना मेरी जान वो चली she's found a love that's real now her wounded heart is healed finally वो चली leaving all her tears behind only love is on her mind finally
मैं साया बन के साथ तेरे रहना 24 घंटे मैं रहना 24 घंटे मैं आंखों से चुरा लो जाना तेरे जो भी गमते हाँ तेरे जो भी गमते